I've been meaning to tell you guys a bit about a client that I've got right now, and I need some help building out their media plan. So they've got a song coming out in 3 weeks' time. They got around £1,000 budget, and they don't know how to spend it. And so I'm going to take you through my process of how I build a Facebook ads, YouTube ads, TikTok ads plan for a musician with a song on the way. It's almost midnight here on a Sunday. I got my jasmine tea. I'm just going to chill and relax, you and I. And so I want to bring you into the world of how an artist can plan their Facebook ads budget. And so in the most simple way, you want to save the bulk of your money for when the song is already out. So you want to spend as little as possible building the hype, or you can do that organically. And then you want to spend as maximum that you can driving traffic towards Spotify, YouTube, and any other place. And what most folks get wrong is they think just because they've built hype, the streams will come. I don't think it works that way. I think when you drive the amount of traffic you need to stimulate the algorithm to give you organic plays, that's what it's about at the end of the day. It's not just about people knowing the song is coming out. It's that once they know, it's forcing them to go and take a listen. It's stimulating the algorithm to give you plays organically. And how you perform in that very first week depends on everything that happens after that. If you can do enough to kickstart Spotify and Apple Music and all these other services into sending streams to you, you can then scale back on your paid media and find cost efficiencies by not having to push as aggressively as you need to. And so this is my process. I want to take you into my world. So imagine we have this £1,000 budget, right? That might be a little bit more than what you're used to spending. This is typically what my clients end up spending on Facebook ads altogether. Around 500 is the minimum I even start with, to about 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 for most of my campaigns. Immediately, I want to break that in half, right? So 500 we're keeping for after the song is out, 500 before the song is even out, right? And so even then, that might be too little ratio. That might be not enough in post-marketing already. So you might do 60%, might do 65% in post-marketing, leaving just 35 to 50% in the pre-marketing. Then you want to look at your goals and your objectives. Like, what do you want to happen? Do you want views on your Instagram? Okay, we'll do a views objective or a reach objective. Do you want to grow new followers? Okay, cool. We'll do a follower growth campaign. Okay, do you want to drive some pre-saves? Okay, we'll do a pre-save campaign. You see, the more objectives you have, the more we have to slice and dice this budget into thinner amounts. The less money is going per objective. Right? So you've got to decide what you want. If you want to do all of this on Instagram and on TikTok, that's again slicing each of those 3 buckets in half again into 6 different buckets: follower growth, video views, and pre-save campaigns. And so now you've ineffectively diluted your budget into 2 small pockets. So you've got to ask yourself, is that sensible? Is TikTok really necessary, or is my growth happening on Instagram? Is Instagram really necessary, or is my growth happening on TikTok? Do I need to grow new followers right now? Do I need to grow mailing list subscribers right now? These are the tough questions you have to ask yourself, and the decisions that I have to make really difficultly sometimes as a strategist to say, look, I just don't think we have enough budget to activate on TikTok this time, right? Let's really focus on Meta properly, and next time we'll attack TikTok. Or something like, I just don't think follower growth matters right now. If you make good music, when I retarget them, you'll grow followers anyway. These are the tough decisions, right? So let's just use easy maths, 50-50, right? 50% in pre-marketing. I will probably boost all of your organic posts. Do what I call an umbrella campaign. So instead of saying £50 per post, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, you just build an overarching $500 plan, right? And that means that all of your posts for 3 weeks are going to get boosted, every single one. Manually, you have to add it into the campaign every single time you post. My client will send me a WhatsApp saying new post up live. I'll then text one of the team members and say, look, add this post into the ad campaign, right? And so there's a very efficient process of how we do this, but then all of your posts lift. You start to get more views, more likes, more comments, more saves, more shares, more engagement that spurs you on and makes you excited to keep working. Right? Whereas if you only chuck that in a top of funnel reach campaign, you get all the views with no actual engagement. So it's important to use an objective like through plays or like an engagement on your post objective to drive up the results. It matters where you target. If you only target the United Kingdom, it's going to be a very expensive campaign. So you want to go broad, cover a lot of Europe, cover bits of America, cover Central Africa, Northern Africa, cover the Caribbean, and you'll get followers and hype all over the world. If you just want the UK market, if you just want London and Manchester, you can expect results, but not at the grand scale that I do for a lot of my artists. It depends on you and your objectives ultimately. So then you got your first bit of your campaign. So you really want to start with just priming your audience. You're going to create these amazing pools for future retargeting. So that when your song is out, these are the people we want to go after. Not people interested in Chris Brown, interested in Kehlani, interested in SZA, interested in Drake. They've never heard of you. But if we find people who are already tapping into your posts, who are already liking, commenting, sharing, engaging, then we just find people like them. You look at their behavioral characteristics, you create what's called a custom audience. Then you make a lookalike audience off the back of it. So people who've engaged in the last 90 days, people who look like them all around the world. Simple. Then you take your post-marketing budget. Let's say we've got £1,000 here again. I want to look at that first week. I want to spend 50% of my budget in the first week. So 500 of the total 1,000 in 7 days. Right? Some of you guys don't even spend £500 in your entire campaign. And I'm spending it in a week. This is the difference. If you actually want to shoot out of a rocket on the day of your release, you want to spend a considerable amount to get the algorithm moving. And so in those 7 days, I want to typically run an engagement conversion campaigns. I use HypedIt as my preferred supplier. So I usually make the HypedIt link for each one of my clients. I put a pixel. Each artist has their own pixel. It's the must. You cannot use the same pixel across multiple artists. Every single artist I work with, I give them their own pixel. Put that pixel in the back of their link. And then create a HypedIt URL, and I submit it to the HypedIt charts, the HypedIt new releases, like it's free promo. Why wouldn't you? And then I want to run this campaign, and ideally, they've been getting people organically to use their link. That just means people are already just organically using that link, clicking through. It's knowing what type of consumer is clicking Spotify, what type of consumer is clicking Apple, Tidal, and so much more. And the benefit of doing it like this is your algorithm learns from real people. That if you want to use the same link as I'm using in your paid media organically, that's a huge win. If you're using your distributed link, no problem. I'll just work a bit harder. So 50% in those first 7 days. And then the final 50% of your 50%, the final 25% is spread over like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And again, it's an umbrella campaign. So whatever reels you're doing in post-marketing to push your song, I want to boost those, right? To give them their fair share. And the way of doing this really is to understand how you're building an ad campaign. Usually I go in, I set a lifetime budget. Then I go and set a upweighted ad set. So ad set 1 is 7 days, that 50%. Ad set 2 is that other 50%, but over a 2 to 3 week period. I put all the assets in both ad sets. Set the start date, set the end date, the start time, the end time. And then I watch. I check these stats every single day. I built a tool for myself so I don't need to go into every single ad account. I built an amazing dashboard inside a vibe coding software called Lovable that I can check on every campaign every single day. And I go into the ad set level, which ad set is doing best. Is it core audiences, Kehlani, SZA, Bryson Tiller? Is it custom audiences, people who engage with you in the last 90 days? Is it lookalike audiences, people who look like people who've engaged with you? Or is it a broad no demo? So I'm running 3 to 4 different ad sets in every campaign. And then I'm going to go into each one and say which ones after 2-3 days are driving 0 clicks. Let me turn those off. Which ones are driving clicks that are too expensive and I turn those off? Which one is driving clicks that's within my benchmark and I leave that rolling? This is the process, you guys. To be a smart ad strategist, you need to have an intrinsic knowledge of the data. Right? You're not just going off vibes. You're not just, doing a set and forget campaign. You want to work on this to make sure it pays off. The campaigns that I've run in the past that didn't go so well, the artist was spending not enough budget to make a difference. Trying to spend £140 or £250 over an entire month really won't move the needle. the easiest way to see how much you're going to get is take your budget, divide it by 4. So even if you were doing 25 pence per click, right? That would be super cheap. That would be amazing performance for a campaign. If I'm getting 40 to 50%, I'm happy. 40 pence per stream or 50 pence per stream, I'm happy. But if you were getting 25 pence, take your £500, divide it by 4. Okay, cool. Now you're going to get 2,000 paid streams if it all went in on streams. But if you're cutting and slicing and dicing this budget into lots of different places, you're going to get less than that. And so when you build a media plan, I use everything through percentages. And you can do the same inside HitmakerOS. If you go into the media planner section, you put your budget, you put in your territories that you want to go after, you put in your objectives, the AI will learn what you're trying to achieve. And it will do it for you. It will generate you a media plan, but you can change, there's 10% in that line item, I want 15. There's 45% in that line item, I actually want 13. You can press the down button, the up button to increase or reduce the percentages and build a media plan that you're going to be proud of, right? And then you need to activate that. Have a very robust, organized system to be able to put that paid media into practice. And it's about being on game, right? So you know that the minute you're due to start the YouTube ads campaign, it's scheduled, ready to go. The minute you're ready to launch 4 different ad sets on release day, they start at a minute past midnight. Like, I hate building a campaign on the Monday after a Friday release, because that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, man, is critical. These are the most important days of your campaign, and you're not live with paid media in that time. It's crazy. For me, I can only think it's an artist who doesn't take themselves seriously that they're not running ads in that heightened period. Like, if you're a hobbyist, do you, bro? Like, have fun, live your best life, put out music for the vibes. Amazing. But if you're trying to take this seriously and make your music your full-time, become a recording artist, become a touring artist, you have to put in this grind. And that's the exact reason I created my service, the 100K Hitmaker program, for artists who don't want to have to do it for themselves, who want to just pay someone to take care of it for them. And I have the most ethical business model, I believe, in the entire industry, where I do not charge a flat fee to work with me. What I've heard from so many different artists is other music marketers, the fee that they charge is more than the ad budget that musician even has. And so the math just wasn't mathing. So when I built the 100K Hitmaker system, I built it with an ethical, artist-friendly model in mind. And so I work on a 20% system. So if you have that £1,000 up front of an ad budget, 20% is my fee, £800 is the ad budget. That's the fairest way I could think of to possibly do this. And so there are restrictions. I only take campaigns above £500. It makes it economical for me to not take anything on less than that. I make sure that I like the music. I make sure that I believe with their social following and their budget, I can actually deliver them results. The worst thing for me to do would be to say yes to everything and then have poor client results because I can't deliver. And so I'm choosy about what I go for a very particular reason. And so if you want me to take those ads off your hands, you can fill out the little form in the description below. It literally just tells me your Spotify monthly listeners, your most played song, your budget per song, what you typically spend, where you typically spend it, that type of thing. If we're a good fit, we'll book a call. On that call, we're already saying yes to work. You already know it's 20%. You're telling me your budget on that call. I'm building you a plan for that budget and we're locking in, right? It's less about me selling anything to you. It's more like, if you're already ready to do this, let's go. A lot of the clients that I work with, I've had them for 1, 2, maybe even 3 years. And I feel blessed by the grace of God when they just call me out of the blue, like, yo, I got a video, let's go. We're already connected. The systems are already joined up. We just need to start a media plan, book in a time to talk about it, and then you run it. And it's like clockwork. And I appreciate their trust in me for doing that. And I want to do the same for you. So hopefully we get to work together soon. But this video was valuable. Let me just quickly recap. 100% of the budget, let's cut it in half. So 50% before the song drops, maximum, if not less, 50% after the song drops. That 50% cut it in half again. So you got 25% in that first week and 25% over the 2 to 3 weeks remaining of your campaign. You want to look at your custom audiences, your core audiences, your lookalike audiences, and even broad demographic. This is my ad strategy that I help my artists with, and I hope from the bottom of my heart it helps you. As you know, I'm on a mission to help 100,000 artists hit 100,000 plays. Everything I just showed you is inside HitmakerOS, except me on the phone call, obviously. But if you want to build your own media plan, you just tell HitmakerOS your budget, your objectives, what you're trying to achieve, which markets you want to operate in, and it will tell you a rough media plan. And you can adjust all of it by clicking plus or minus on the percentages and changing the budget to suit your goals. But then you have to have something to execute it. And that's where someone like me comes in.